Hello. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on. Um, I really dig this game, and um, it's really pretty awesome. Um, and just tell me, like, how long? I saw online you said you spent 2 years working on this game.
Yeah, kinda. So I prototyped it a while ago. I don't know if you've heard of Dreams by Media Molecule.
I have
That
not.
was well, basically it's like a UGC game, like user generated content game on steroids that came out on the PlayStation in like 2020. There was like an early access before that, but I think it dropped like officially in full in like 2020.
Right.
Um, but I was like super involved in that community, and I made the first version of this game in that sort of as a technical challenge to myself.
Okay.
Um, so depending on your definition of like development time, it's you know it's 2.5 years of this remake, or it's 2.5 years plus 3 months of dreams, or it's the years it was sitting in the back of my head in between. Um, I don't know. I
Right.
usually just count the 2.5 years for the remake.
And right off the bat, I mean, I know a lot of people are like comparing this to Monument Valley just because the art style and the way how the puzzles move, and like I don't know, meets like Monument Valley meets like Braid, I would guess, with like the puzzle mechanics. Is that like fair to say?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, like I think when you look at it, the obvious comparison to make is Monument Valley, but Monument Valley is definitely like a way more casual game. Um, like I think the main focus of Monument Valley was the vibes and making cool optical illusions and stuff, and the actual puzzle solving kind of took a backseat. And the
Right.
puzzles were really easy. And what I wanted to do is, instead of having like these bespoke moments like Monument Valley does, I wanted to make like a more systemic uh,
The
game
world
that
has
uses
never
these
been
optical
more
illusions,
connected.
if that makes sense.
No
Like
matter how
I cared a
niche
lot
your
more about
interests
the
may
emergent
be, a
properties
community of
of
like-minded
these things when
individuals.
you
Right.
try to use them in different situations and stuff, and that leads to like a much more challenging, but hopefully much deeper game. Also,
Right. Yeah, for sure. It's very like challenging. Like I think within, I think like the fourth, we'll get to it, but the game also has this audio story that goes along with it. Um, was that initially a part of the game, or was that something that kind of came later?
there was a I don't remember why I did it, but like the original Dreams like prototype had a narrative as well.
Okay.
Um, I think it just felt like, yeah, I don't know why I did it. I think it just felt like it called for something. Um, the Dreams version had a very different story. It like wasn't even really a story. It was more of like a lecture, or like an essay or something. Would be a more accurate thing to call it, rather than a story.
Right.
But when I was doing the remake, I still felt like that narration added something that I wanted to keep, but I wanted to like rewrite the story and make something else.
Oh
Um,
yeah. No, I mean,
and
because like when you start up this first level, you just it's just like okay, like this is you're already on a journey, and then you have to get from point A to point B to continue that journey with every different puzzle. So it's very interesting because I honestly I don't think I've seen something like that besides maybe the talisman principle, which had kind of a story that flew through it. I mean, of course, like Portal does too, but kind of more of like a narrated story. I think the Talos Principle was the first one that I experienced as a puzzle gamer myself. Um, so yeah,
yeah,
and
they're
so
like,
Almost
I guess there are
always
different ways
just a
to
few
do
taps away.
story, right? Like Portal has the thing where it's like there's an omniscient computer or something who's like it's in the world with you. Um,
yeah,
I think Talos Principle is a little bit the same thing. I went with I think just because the art style is so abstract here, where everything's a cube, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do
connections.
more of
Is easier than
an
ever.
abstract metaphorical
Just a
thing where
little
the
bit of
story
initiative, you
isn't
can
so
find
directly
people
tied.
you-
Would say.
Yeah, I guess a little bit. I can see that.
But yeah. So, one
I
of
don't
my
know if
first.
it's- Sorry, I don't
No,
know.
go
if it's
ahead,
just
go
on my end, but your stream is like kind of laggy. I don't know if it's because you're also screen sharing to Discord.
Probably. I would just wanted you to see. I guess I thought you could see real time and what level I was on.
Oh yeah, I could just like watch the. I could keep the stream open maybe, if that's
Okay.
like making it lag or something.
Okay. Hopefully that fixes things.
Yeah, maybe. Wait.
I want to tell you about a man named Fitch. Fitch's life was more or less typical. He had just started college, was coasting through with
So
decent enough
how
grades,
close
was
does
on
this
track
story
for a safe engineering career in a few
go
years.
for your
But
like
Fitch's true
personal
passion
life?
was music.
They're like bits and pieces. Okay, the stream's way smoother now. So it's like not. I would definitely describe it as fiction because I changed so many details and rearranged things and stuff. But like it did draw from like I guess a few real events from my life. Because I'm not really a writer actually. Like I'm super unpracticed with like creative writing. And
Right.
so I was thinking like, oh, if I want like a really high quality story, that's gonna be quite difficult. But the advice I always hear is to write what you know. So I was like, instead of conjuring up this lore from nothing, I'm just gonna, get inspired by real stuff that's happened to me, and change a bunch of details along the way to make the
Right.
story better.
I mean,
and
they always say
not-
write what you know.
Fitch's
Yeah.
favorite music, though,
Yeah, that
wasn't the kind of music you'd
was
hear on
exactly
the
what
radio
I did.
or talk about with your coworkers. It wasn't bad, but calling it an acquired taste would be an understatement.
You go back one. Back one. I always forget. There we go. Alright. So one thing I was doing while playing this game is I tried playing it with I tried playing it in different ways with the controller and with just the keyboard. And oh,
Yeah, what kind of controller are you using? I can see on the stream that's not something I've seen before.
The music
this
was highly
is
structured,
the
mathematical in
Apido
nature,
Lite
but in a
SE
way that only
controller.
a hardcore music theorist
It
would
is.
pick up
It was
on.
an adaptive
Though it
controller
was a
they
predictable
made
pattern at its core.
for this
It sounded
kid over in
chaotic and
Europe,
jumbled to most.
and I mostly use it for fighting games because it has the 6 buttons, and then a lot of modern games you can remap L3 and R3, so it kind of gives me the 8-button perspective, like for an arcade stick. And so I was using this as. But one thing that I don't know if you could implement for the game is toggling through menus. Like, okay, I can use WASD for the game, and then Q and E to spin. But getting out of a menu, I have to use the arrow keys. I wonder if there's a way to just keep everything on like the left-hand side, like using the space bar as your enter button instead of enter.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I guess that makes sense to add like alternate menu keys that are like that align more with like the rebindable keys. Because yeah,
Right.
the gameplay buttons are all rebindable, but I guess the menu buttons
Fitch knew
aren't.
there was
And maybe that would
untapped
be a good
beauty
thing
in
to
the
like
unpopular genre.
have some
The
parity between.
problem-solving part of his brain began to
Yeah, I
ask,
wrote that down.
what could be
Maybe I'll
done to make
do
it
that
more
in an update
accessible?
or something.
It's so funny we're talking about accessibility, and then the narration just talks about things being more accessible.
Oh yeah.
That is pretty hilarious.
I did try to make the entire game
Fitch took a
playable with
stab
just
at
a
writing his
mouse
own
though.
music.
So
His early attempts
Right.
fell victim to the genre's
yeah, so
typical
you can get through all the
shortcomings.
menus and you can
But
move
within
and you
his
can rotate
experiments,
the camera and
he
you
could see
can undo and
potential that he
restart
hadn't
all
seen
with
before.
like just a mouse.
He decided to reach out to others for feedback.
I always have to remember. I like that you give hints because, and they're not like, crazy. Like this is step by step hints. Like you just give these subtle, like, hey, this. I'm gonna give you two, options, but you're gonna have to figure out how to use those two things.
Yeah, I found in playtesting. So like hint systems in puzzle games are kind of hard because like a lot of puzzles are solved in such different ways that it's hard to make like a broad hint system a lot of the time. Like a lot of people will do things where they have like a text-based hint system and you can like click through these text-based hints, but then you got to type up like a million hints and localize them all and stuff. And so I thought that wasn't going to be ideal, but something I watched when I was like something I noticed when I saw people playtesting it is a lot of the
Fitch
difficulty is
hopped on
just
the
like
first music forum
finding
he
the
could
right
find and fired off a
moves.
message with a link to his demos.
So I decided to go with a hint
I've been
system
working
that
on some
like
music, he wrote.
helps
there's
with
room for
helps reduce
improvement,
that
but I'm not
overhead
sure where to go
and
with it.
just tells you, hey, if
Is
you
anyone
stand
interested in this
here,
style?
you'll find
That
some
summer,
important
Fitch
progress.
met Jan.
And it's really easy to do that with just those little hologram blocks. Those seem to like point people in a really useful way.
Right. Oh wait. Forget. Am I supposed to be right here? We use the hands. Yep.
How far into the game have you gotten, out of curiosity? I saw when you like booted up the stream, you'd already beaten a bunch of these levels.
Yeah,
Curious, like, how far?
oh, you know what? Hold on. That is where I need to be, right there. Yay! That was to me, that was the hardest puzzle to do.
Yeah.
Like,
sounds
it was that's even harder than puzzles after that puzzle for me. I was just like, this is so, I couldn't wrap my brain around trying to get to the end before the block fell. And I was just like,
the tricky one.
I was just like, this, like, how hard is it gonna get even harder than this?
It
was
does
like-
it does get harder, but like instead of a steadily increasing difficulty, it's sort of like within each chapter, you have sort of somewhat increasing difficulty with a difficult one at the end, but then once you get to the next area, the difficulty kind of resets a little bit and
Right.
gets a bit easier again. So
Right.
it's like the puzzle at the end of each area is a little bit of a boss puzzle sometimes.
I got you. Okay, yeah. And I liked, this was interesting too. It's like, wait, what? I can't go anymore? Oh, like you actually have to rotate the actual world to get to places now. It's not
Yeah.
just the puzzles itself, it's the world, which I thought was very interesting and I liked. And I was like, oh, this is actually really cool. But so you are based out of New York. What's the best pizza place? Let's ask where's the best place to get a slice?
Man, I don't know. do I even order from usually? I think I like...
Jan's message was a
Oh,
welcome
okay.
surprise. He too was in
This
search of
doesn't really narrow it
collaborators
down, 'cause
looking
there are,
to
like,
push
a
the genre
million-
forward.
Tony's pizza places, but I order from a place that's called Tony's. And I live Upper West Side, so it's somewhere around here. But I don't know. Honestly, the play I'm realizing is like when I'm just out and I feel like having pizza, you can just walk until you see something and go in, and it's like usually gonna be pretty good.
Thought I could get on top of that. Like this is the one that shows you the different perspective of. Oh right. How did I do this again? Okay, hint. Oh. Great. Back it up. Wait, can I just go here? Yes. Yeah, that's how I got on. I knew I had to get on top of that one. I just could not remember how.
Despite obvious obstacles, Fitch and Jan having just met,
How about you? I'm
knowing
assuming
nothing
you're
about each other,
based in New York?
apparently living 7 time zones apart, their common ground on such an unknown subject made striking up a conversation effortless. The world has never been more connected.
So, how did you, like, you know, there's so many different types of puzzles. I mean, what was your inspiration in, you know, these different puzzles in this game?
A lot of them came from experimentation, kind of. Like usually what I try to do, I think what a lot of puzzle game designers try to do is like, usually you have some kind of concept that's interesting and cool and stuff. And as a developer, when you're creating this system and you're playing around with it, you're discovering really interesting stuff. But usually that discovery process is really like kind of haphazard and random. And like a lot of the
Fitch shared
levels,
his experimental compositions with Jan.
you'll end up
gave
making
enlightening
as a
feedback.
puzzle game designer
He
are
clearly
just
knew
levels
things
that are
Fitch
funneling
didn't.
people into those
Fitch was learning
discoveries. So
quickly
it's like
from
you want players to have that experience of discovering the cool elements of like the system you've created, but you want it to be done in a much more tame way, where it's like they're not just randomly stumbling onto things like you were in development. If that makes sense. So a lot of the levels are just like, I found a cool consequence of this thing that I programmed. What's the most efficient, fun way I can like set up a situation where people can where people can make the same discoveries and like learn all the same cool stuff about the game. So that's a lot of them. Some of them are just random ideas, like the one you're on right now.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, usually you have to press the buttons to continue. What if I made a level where you
Fitch shared
have
his
to avoid the
theoretical
buttons
insights as well.
instead?
The
Like,
kinds
if
of
you
things
press
that
the
didn't come through in
button,
his
then
compositions.
you're
Jan
SOL.
listened intently,
Yeah,
though it was sometimes difficult
So there's a
for
lot of
Fitch to
starting
tell
with just
Jan
high
was
level
really
ideas like
thinking.
that, and then seeing, you know, what's the most elegant way I can implement that idea. And I try a lot of these levels. I try to like riff on the same idea a few times rather than just having like one straightforward a single problem and a single solution. I try to do like little sub puzzles within the puzzle.
Right.
Like the one you're in now, it's like the first step is getting to that button, and once you get that button, you kind of have to loop around, and then you hit one
Yeah, and I've
obstacle.
done
and
it
you get through that
before
obstacle
too.
one
I'm just
way,
like,
and-
where do I go? If I'm
yeah,
connected?
this one's hard to see until you're like in the situation. Because this is one where the move doesn't look like it's possible until you're actually standing in the right spot. Because the player ends up hiding stuff behind it that suddenly makes the path appear. It's like if
Right.
you, yeah.
And that, yeah, because I remember I was like, how did I do that? Like, I didn't think I could go through this, and I did, and it was weird, but it was cool.
Yeah, it's like if you stand there before you make the move, if you just stand there and stare at it, it's like if you forget everything that has happened up to this point, just looking at how it looks now, it's like it does look like a straight path to the button. And then once you make the move, then you kind of end up like phasing through the pillar and it looks weird, but most of the game revolves around that, where it's like
Right,
the
that's how
moment
I
you
did
make
it.
the move, if that's how it looks, then it's gonna let you do that. But then like the move in progress might look weird because then it has to resolve into the real 3D space and all that.
Yeah, that's what it was. But now I can't get back, and then how do I
Yeah,
get
exactly.
back? Oh, right, that's right. We just start doing this. Oh, wait, I see it, I see it. Go back one. There it is. Yeah, that was so weird that you could phase through the blocks because you couldn't do that before. There we go. I did it.
Fitch's engineering
Oh, this one
mindset allowed him to tackle
I
things
kind
from
of
first principles.
figured out
He
pretty
tended to take
easily.
a deliberate, structured approach to the music. Jan, on the
Wait,
other hand,
I'm doing it
Seriously?
backwards, I think.
instinctual, spontaneous, incredibly creative way of thinking about things.
It's always interesting watching people play this level, because some people figure out the first half really quickly and then they just cannot wrap their minds around like how to get back down.
I figured out how to, because it was connecting. Okay, yes, that's what it was. Okay. See, now I'm up here, and then I go here. No. Back. One. Ah, yes. Because they have to be at that opposite end for it to. I want to say you always have to be at the one that's farthest. But I'm wrong? Wait, no. There we go. No, it's not what I wanted. Yes. Wait. Yes, there it is.
Jan had written a bit of his own music.
This
as
is
well,
one I had trouble
but he
with.
was reluctant to share any of it with Fitch. Fitch didn't push it. It's scary, after all,
Oh, yeah,
to openly share your art with someone.
It's one of the few ones where the level name is important. Some
Oh,
people
shoot.
see the level name and they instantly get it. Some people.
I totally did not read the level name. Oh no.
Yeah, that idea, I can't name them because it was a random person. But that was I showed this game at Play NYC last, I guess it was August. And this is one of the levels that was in the demo or something. And like, just at that point, the level was named something else. And it was just some random guy who came by to play it, who he like beat the demo and then he was giving some feedback on it. And he was like, this level, you should call it like Out of Order or something. And I was just thinking of it and I was like, oh my god, that's like, I was angry because I didn't think of that. Like, why? Just this random guy who just played the game just like had this amazing idea and I just shamelessly stole it and named the level Out of Order.
Wait. Is that the... It is. Dang it. I need to get back up there.
I should have asked that guy his name and put him in the credits.
Over... Under... That one needs to be... I made the same mistake. This is how I remember. Can I do it? No. No. Oh, that's right. I could have. This is the one that
Despite
I've.
Jan's subdued nature, Fitch
I've-
could clearly
this is
see
the
that
last one.
Jan had a
This is
gift.
the one that I'm
This
on
was someone who
currently,
understood the music,
right here.
someone who could help
Oh,
Fitch
yeah.
push the genre forward.
That was the one that we just did. Was the one I finished. Like real. Actually, I was playing this like early this morning. Just trying to kind of get far to show.
This one's like a little bit of a boss puzzle, like I mentioned before, right?
Right.
Like I was talking about different inspirations for like different levels, where like some of them you're trying to show people something, like funnel them into a discovery. Sometimes it's like an inversion of some other pattern that you've been doing the rest of the game. This is like the boss ones are usually like combine a bunch of those things into one thing. And so this is one of those where it's like you have to hit all the buttons, you have to do them in a very particular order. It involves all these like one-way moves that you experience in that one level. Bunch of stuff like that.
Starting from the very beginning. I bet you that's the slowest time you've seen somebody figure that one out.
No, I've certainly seen slower.
Just like how I, but yeah, this just they get so intricate. Improvisation.
Occasionally, as one does when they're speaking in their second language, Jan would forget how to say certain phrases and need to get crafty with his wordplay. Fitch's favorite was when he once said, "The clock is too much," instead of, "It's getting late." He admired the creativity.
So, off the bat, this level looks like the Times crossword layout. Was that any inspiration?
Not really, honestly.
Just like
I'm not
why
sure
is
I'm not sure what the inspiration for this one was. I think this is just like a I think it's kind of a common puzzle type of like where you have to like do a certain thing without crossing your path. And I think that's sort of what I was inspired by.
right?
They implemented it using these like blocks that disappear when you step on them.
Is there any way of getting around? No, I do not want to do that.
The hint's not very helpful in this one. The
is-
hint in this one is like it's kind of just like start in this direction, but it doesn't really help beyond that too much.
So I'm gonna have to cross over these black things. Not all of them. Wait, hold on. I think got it. Yeah, that was definitely I
On the other side of the
understand.
coin, Jan would occasionally send nothing more than a stoic, "Okay," in response to Fitch, who would send messages intended to invite conversation every once in a while. Fitch tried to ignore it, assuming no malintent. Perhaps the terseness could be explained by a gap in cultural nuance.
These are, yes, definitely It's like you have to stay on one. It's the one path. Like I was just watching a acquaintance of mine who runs a Killer Instinct tournament, and they were playing one of the Legend of Zelda games, and it had a similar puzzle to this where you had to stay on the path and you couldn't cross back over. So you have to wait. Two. Yeah. There. Search. I need that block. Wait. So I read something on Instagram that you use this certain engine to create this game. Why don't you? It's honestly something I've really never heard of. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's called Raylib, which isn't really an engine. It's like a game programming library. So it's sort of like it wraps up a bunch of like platform level stuff, like opening a window and rendering models and sprites to the window and like playing sound and handling input and stuff. But it's all just a bunch of function calls, and you have to do everything else yourself. So like the other parts of the game, like entity management and like level editor and you know, saving and loading different levels and a bunch of like bespoke rendering stuff, like the shading and all of that was done pretty much from scratch. So yeah, I wouldn't really call Raylib an engine. I would say like this game was kind of a custom engine, but it definitely leans pretty heavily on Raylib to do a lot of the stuff. I think Raylib started as like it was created by I guess a university professor to like help teach game dev students, and I think he was frustrated with like the state of like game programming libraries, and he wanted something really simple but reasonably low level so he could like get people going quickly.
Right.
And even though it's like intended to mostly like be a teaching tool first, I just found it really fun to like write code in, and so I don't know, I just decided to make the whole game with it.
And then, so you said you wrote the code and all this other stuff, but how much of like, was there any like art that you had to create, like the blocks and mountains and the clouds, or was that like assets that you kind of found or whatever you built around?
The blocks are just cubes, and they're like, yeah, I mean, I guess I made all the art, but all the art's really simple. It's just like flat shaded cubes. The backgrounds I also did, but like you can see, those are just very simple drawings, kind of, with sort of in this level in particular, there's sort of like a cloudy sort of shader being applied to the background, which is one thing. The shaders I used for the background were sort of half and half. Like I either wrote them myself, or I found like something that looked nice on Shader Toy that had like a free to use license, and then just like credited them in the credits at the end of the game. But yeah, the art, I'm not really, I said I'm not a writer. I'm also not really an artist. I'm more of a like programmer, game designer type of person. And so finding the right, even though it's like a really simple graphical style, I still had to put a lot of effort into like finding the right color schemes and stuff. And that was a lot of trial and error, because I don't really have the right intuition for that kind of stuff. I did a lot of like sending screenshots to more artistically talented friends and have them like roast it until I kind of hammered things into shape and would send them screenshots, and they would stop roasting it.
Right.
That's how I knew that I was on the right track.
This one is harder than the last. And that's how it's supposed to be.
This one's definitely a twist. Yeah, the one before this one I'd said it's like kind of a common puzzle type to have like a, you know, make a path and don't let the path cross over itself. This is like, this one, if you stare at it for long enough, you realize that's actually impossible. And so there's like a little perspective twist you have to do to
Oh, pun on your game. Little perspective.
yeah. It's funny watching people play these two levels because like a lot of people realize like the previous level doesn't use any perspective mechanics, so they're like, that's weird, like why'd they put that level in this game? And then they get to this one and then they're like, oh, like that level was just a setup for this level, which actually like uses a perspective thing, and then it kind of clicks and makes sense.
Yeah. Because I know I can't cross the black that goes. I have to keep that available. The one to my right.
Yeah, but there's a way to get around it. Do you see it?
Do I see it?
You're super close. I mean, I'm on a stream delay, so I don't know how close you are in the actual moment, but I keep seeing you you keep having the right camera angle, and then you're just standing there.
I'm just like, yeah, I understand.
It's hard to see.
I was letting my friend play this game, and then he kept rotating the camera, and I was like, no, go back one. You have to go back this camera angle, go left twice. And it was like one of the earlier levels, and he's like, I can't. What? And now I feel like him, just like, huh?
It's so hard to like verbally tell people what to do when you're trying to give them a hint in this game. It's so much easier to just like take a screenshot and then draw on the screenshot and then like send them the drawing.
Okay, I can't. I'm supposed to start here, but I can't go there, and I can't cross over that. Can't. There's no way for me not to pause. Dang it.
Like, I don't want to tell you. As the dev, I don't want to give you hints.
It's fine. This.
I feel like you'll get it eventually.
Yeah. Those hints, especially for these last two levels, don't give much of hints. It's like,
yeah, because these ones, they're not so much about finding like the move. Well, this one is a little bit, but the previous level at least was like a lot more about the direction you're going, not like a particular place you have to stand. So it was hard to get like a good hint in there.
yeah.
This one, the hint I think is a little more helpful, but it's still hard to see.
Yeah, it's just because I'm trying not to cross over the one that's where the exit is, the black. You can't cross over that. And I don't see a way around it, even though I've changed perspectives and I'm just running into that. And I can't go that way. I can't go that way.
So the camera angle you have where you're like pushing against that, the black block,
Yeah.
that's the right pushing against that block isn't like what you have to do, of course, it's like nothing happens, but that's the right camera angle. That's what I'll say.
There's only one way is to go this way. And then there's the connecting points. Do that.
It's like you have the right path. You just need to get over that first black block.
Wait, hold on, maybe? Oh. Screwed myself.
You found the right idea though. It's just not when you have to do it.
Because I do have to have that one, the black box. I have to have the black box that's in front of the exit. I have to keep that.
Yeah. And that move you did accidentally at the end there, where you like stepped on the orange block. Seems like a useful thing to do, maybe.
Where? So, what is it like making an indie game in 2020, or putting out an indie game in 2026?
I don't know. It's I guess so I put out, this is like my third indie project, and it's felt mostly the same every time. It's just that as time goes on, there's more noise on the internet, if that makes sense. There are more games releasing every year, and so it's harder to get attention. And,
Yay! I finally got it.
The game. Oh, you got it? Oh yeah.
I had to use the actual block. I was like, oh, duh.
Yeah, it's so hard to hint at that without giving it away, though.
Wait,
it's
On the other side of the coin,
if I put the
burroughs would
hologram
occasionally send
on
nothing
top
more
of
than
the
a
orange
stoic
block or something,
okay,
like the hint,
in response to Fitch,
feels like
who
that
would send
just
messages
gives
intended
it
to
away.
invite conversation every once in a while. Fitch tried to ignore it, assuming no malintent. Perhaps the terseness could be explained by a gap in cultural nuance.
Yeah, the three games I released were all kind of released in different ways. So the first one, I was still in college and didn't know what I was doing, and so we were trying to market the game, but we were doing it in all the wrong ways. So despite all our efforts, we sold basically nothing. The game I made after that was a really long project, but I had kind of lost motivation by the end, so I kind of just dropped it on the internet without really putting in that much effort. Like as far as outreach and marketing and stuff goes, I like sent it to my friends and like maybe a couple streamers, and that was it.
Right.
That game though, kind of over time, it kind of found its niche a little bit. So it's had like kind of a long tail. It's still not a popular game, but it's more popular than my first game for sure. And then this one, I finished up the game, and then I spent like a month or so just doing dedicated outreach to try to do a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, I found out about your game on Twitter from the Independent Developers Association New York chapter, because they retweeted about it. They retweeted about it, and so I follow them because they found me because I was talking about a couple of games out of New York, Skate Story and Scrabble Heart City, which are both made. Both of them, the developers work out of the Gumbo Independent Workspace Collective.
Right. Yeah.
And so, which was kind of weird that both of those were like my two games that I found, and they were like, "Oh yeah," like I was talking with the developer for Scrabble Heart City. I was like, "Yeah, I love. I'm just super stoked about Skate Story." He's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "I know the guy. He works at like 2 desks down from me from the workspace that I work at." I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Bro, it would be totally cool if they put like a Easter egg of your game in their game," and it happened. I still haven't found it yet. But yeah, but I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go do a quick restroom break. If you need to do a quick restroom break or get more drinky drink, now is the time to do it, guys. We will be right back. This is just a little break, and we'll be back about 5-ish minutes. All right, guys, we are back.
Hello.
Hello. Hopefully your break was well spent. You got more drinks, got more snacks, got your notepad out. So living in New York, it is kind of a puzzle to get through. How much of living in New York inspired this game?
That's a good question. I'm trying to think if like I want to say not very
Enough talk,
much.
Fitch thought.
Actually,
He
like,
sent a message to Jan one day, asking if he'd
but
like to
I
combine
think
their shared
just living
knowledge and
anywhere
work
is going to
together on a project.
subconsciously inspire you
One
in
that
some way.
demonstrated the
So it's like
true
it's kind of hard to
potential
pin
of
it
music
down,
that they
but
had been
like just the
fixating
fact
on
that I've
for
been
so
living
long.
here. When did I move here?
Jan
I
agreed.
think I've been living here
So they began work
about
on their
8 years
first
now.
album together.
Okay.
So just, you know, those 8 years must have done something to my brain that made me want to make this.
Right.
But it's hard to say how. A lot of the story and stuff is about a lot of like online interactions I've had, and the stuff about the creative process. Like I work remotely. I do full-time game dev. Not on this, but I work for a studio remotely. And so a lot of like my creative interactions are online and stuff. So, and a lot of the story is inspired by that, by like sort of the interactions I've had online. And
Okay.
so, you know, New York has been kind of a backdrop to all of that. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe future games will be a little more New Yorky. Yeah, you were talking about Skate Story. That one's like unapologetically like
New York.
New Yorky, I feel like.
Yeah, I that's definitely the most that I mean, yeah, right now is definitely has a New York backdrop to it for sure. I think I have to go over here. Yes. No? Aha! The secret sauce set. One little hidden ramp that you don't know about until you've actually done it.
Yep. So
Wait,
a lot of this game, I think.
now how do I get back? Does green? Oh wait, okay. Green. I think green connects. No. Hmm. Where? Let's see what kind of hints we have. Just the one hint now. That's all we have these days. Just one hint.
Yeah, this level's a weird one. This level's significantly easier if you notice one particular thing about it. I think most people don't notice that one particular thing though, and they end up
I'm trying to find the connecting points. Where is that connecting point?
I think you might be stuck on the blue section.
Yeah. Okay, let's start over. Wait, hold on. This is kind of like the other level where you have to do things backwards. It's right there. Right there. Wait. Oh, there it is. Ah. So, as any good puzzle maker, you're making the player use their past experience in. Wait, hold on. Oh, wait. Ooh.
Funny as you say that, you're these like two pillars along the side of the path is like a thing that you encounter in previous levels, and it's a thing where it's like even though there's an open path through it, you actually like can't get through it.
Yeah.
Because it either like one of the blocks is in your way, or it hides you, or it hides the path. It's always one of those three things.
Wait. Hold on. Back out. Just. No? To find. Oh, wrong way. No? That's where the hint was telling me to go.
there's a reason the hint tells you to go to that button and not any of the other buttons.
There. Now I forget how I even got up here. Is there a hidden...
It might have been a one-way move. That kind of happens. Yeah, because the bit of floor you came from is hidden now by the player, so you can't get back down. You'll have to like undo.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. That's what it's making telling me to do now. Okay. There again. There we go. Here to here. Hey, I got 2 achievements. Yay. So how did you, speaking of achievements, as a game developer, how do you like come up with achievements? Like what level gets an achievement? How many levels until you get an achievement? What kind of, like, making a game in itself is a process. And so, especially with a game, I mean, I know it's on Steam. Is this on anything else? Any consoles? Switch? PlayStation?
Not right now, just Steam right now.
Just Steam, right? So,
yeah.
How do you come up with achievements? Did you come up with achievements as you were developing? Like, oh, this would be a fun, like, nod to getting this level done. It would be a fun way of getting, saying, oh, you beat this part of the game. Like, how was that process for, I guess, coming up with achievements for, because,
yeah,
it's a thing.
I mean, it is a thing. Yeah, it depends. In general, it depends on the game. Like, there are a lot of games where the achievements are just like, oh, do this thing 100 times or whatever, which I've never been a fan of those kinds of achievements. What I like to do are, like, a few basic progression-based ones. Just so in this case, it's like, oh, every time you complete all the levels in an area, you'll get an achievement. That just seems like a reasonable thing to do, so people can just get some by playing the game the normal way.
Right.
That's also nice for, like, so Steam shows you the global distribution of, like, how many people have gotten each, like, a percentage of how many players have gotten each achievement. And so, like, these progression-based achievements where it's just, like, beating all the levels in a chapter, I can check that global distribution, and as a developer, I can get a sense of, like, how far people are getting into the game that I just released.
So
Um,
around the globe, what country, or I guess, like you said that they like break it down. So which, I guess, region has like gotten the most achievements?
I don't know about region for achievements, but like I know that according to the Steam stats, hold on, I can check somewhere. I'm trying to like bring up Steam and get to the achievements. There they are. Yeah, so I can look at this and it's like, oh, 17% of people have like beaten the game. Which I feel like that's pretty good. And so like that's one thing you can do with achievements. I can't see the breakdown per region, or at least I would have to like look for that on the dashboard and stuff, which I'm not gonna do right now. But so that's one kind of achievement, is like a progression thing, and I like looking at that to see like what percentage of players are like where's the fall off happening, maybe. If there is a fall off. The other kind of achievement I like is just playing the game in a way that people otherwise wouldn't have played. Like a non-canonical sort of way to play the game that's just kind of silly and a fun challenge. So like, I have a few achievements in this game that are like, you know, beat this particular level, but with this extra like condition.
I don't even
So,
see
like-
any of those like options. I mean, I know there's like, in like escape games, they kind of have that, you know, like do this trick, you know, like ollie over the table, but then you have like kick flip over the table, and you have like kick flip, 180 over the table, and so you have like an idea of, okay, if I want to like kill it, or like do the maximum. But this one, I've just been going to like, I mean, even going back to the beginning of the levels. Like, I would think I would be able to go this way, but I can't. I'm just like, when will I get to go that way? It's almost like when I first started playing this, it kind of reminded me of Super Mario Brothers 2 for the Game Boy, and that whole level system of going all around the island, and like only certain parts of the island would open up until after you've like played a certain level.
Yeah, it's fun to like tease later sections of the game early on. Yeah, I do that a little bit in this game too, where you can see sections of the hub that you're not going to reach for a little while, or like little sort of secret, like you can see entrances to levels that are like a little off the beaten path, and it's a little extra puzzle to figure out how to get to those sometimes.
Like the one I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
I just realized it. I was like, oh, there's a level over here I didn't even see.
Yeah, and yeah, those levels are a whole thing. Yeah, when you get into that one, I think you're gonna be surprised. Kind of. I mean, you might be confused. I think a lot of people go into this level and they look at it and they're like, wait, what's going on here? But the more of these levels you find, the more it'll make sense. Oh yeah, I did want to say I do have to get going soon. So if there's any like sort of final stuff you wanted to ask or talk about before I go.
Yeah. You know what? We could wrap it up here soon. Oh, I wanted to stop doing that. I want to get to that orange one. Do I do that? Yeah, no. Trying to think of. Oh, you know what? Yes. So, accessibility. I normally review a lot of games on accessibility, and this game definitely is like. I know for a lot of people, like I was, mentioning, having it accessible. You said it was accessible for the mouse. What? Why was that important to make it just playable with the mouse?
I think it's. I mean, part of it is just giving everybody the most options possible. So it's like, like some people might just want to lean back in their chair and like, rest their head on their hand while they're leaning on like the arm of the chair, and then just like they have one hand remaining, and then they can use the mouse to play the entire game. But like also part of it is just like some people only can use one hand or like one arm, and it's like, you might, if you're making the kind of game where it's trivial to add that kind of control, like you just should, I think. Like there's no, this game doesn't have a hardcore dependency on like crazy controls. They're all the moves you can make are like one move at a time sorts of things. So it's just
Right.
like, if I want this to be playable for as many people as possible, then like, adding a control scheme where you can do the entire thing with like one or two fingers is like, that's just a cool thing to do.
Right.
And that expands a little bit to other stuff beyond the controls. Like, there are no mechanics where you have to be able to see color, for example. Like, there's always an alternate visual identity to things that isn't based on color, where you can identify like the doors. So they're like the blocks that open from the buttons that are like orange, but then there are also those purple move counters, and those look very similar, but the outline, like the sort of dashed line around the move counter moves, and the one around the blocks that are open from the buttons, that outline does not move. So like that, there's stuff like that where it's like I wanted to distinguish everything visually, even if you're looking at it in like black and white.
Right. Yeah, because I was realizing
like,
there wasn't a colorblind mode. There's not really any accessibility options. You have graphical, you have the bloom, the subtitles, subtitle size, which is great. Which is great for a deaf person who's playing this to read the story, whatnot. Like, this is a great game, at least for the deaf. It sucks they don't get to hear this chill soundtrack, but
yeah.
but
I don't know how you would make that accessible to a deaf person. That's an interesting problem to think about. Maybe out of the scope of this game as a solo developer, but like still interesting to think about. Like, how do you?
But yeah, you have like pretty well audio options, which is great, and the controls is nice. Although it was very interesting because I have to go diagonally with the joystick. I was like, that was very interesting. Like, there was no just up, down, left, and right. It was just diagonal, and I was like, that's an interesting like design choice.
Yeah, you can actually rebind it to use just straight up, down, left, and right. on the stick, but the
Right.
default is diagonal just because like that's the way the camera is.
Yeah.
Um,
But
the
I dig.
controls in general were just like a bit weird because the default, you'll notice the default keyboard controls are WASD,
Right.
which are not diagonal. Those are straight up, down, left, and right. And I tried a bunch of default keyboard controls, and just from playtesting, this ended up being the one that most people were comfortable with, just because like a lot of people have WASD muscle memory. But it is at least, you know, you can rebind it to like QEAD or something that's a bit more diagonally mapped if you know, if that's the thing you want to do. But yeah, for the same reason as like the mouse, like, you know, being able to play the whole game with one hand using the mouse, you can also rebind the keyboard controls to like all be on the left side of the keyboard or right side or whatever.
Yeah. And how?
But
And,
I again, like, you are right that I did miss the menu controls. I didn't think about that one.
yeah, I was like doing that. I was like, why can't I go up and down? Like I can do everything with
Yeah.
just, you know, WASD and E and Q and all this other stuff. And like, why can't I just keep it in this? Why do I have to go to the directional pad to go up and down and then enter? Like, I just want to stay on the left hand side of the keyboard.
Yeah. My bad.
No, you're fine. I mean, that's I mean, it's my job to point things out like this and being as, you know, like, hey, like I tried to do this, but I couldn't. And it was like, did you think about this? And they're like, no, but that's a great idea. So, and that's the whole reason of doing interviews like this and talking about accessibility and talking about my experiences as a person who plays video games with one hand. And you know, and this game is definitely one-handed, definitely super easy, and it's not very hard. I can see, I'm curious to know, and I could definitely hook you up with a couple of guys I know that live in New York, and also the Mount Sinai Hospital. This would be a great game. They have a whole rehabilitation center of people who have been just become or who are paralyzed, and they use video games as rehabilitation. And I think this game would be a really fun game to throw in the mix to be like, hey, you know, here, try this game out, and just to kind of do that kind of stuff. So yeah, like, it's, you know, cool that, you know, you live in New York to have that opportunity to be like, hey, here's my game, you know, you can just take it over to them, or, you know, and whatnot. But yeah, I'm really loving this game. You know what, and I totally forgot to do that. I will do that once this stream is over. I will have the link of this game. You know what, let me actually look real quick to see something. Yuki, did they did not. Oh, bummer. I was looking at the Keymailer thing. Sometimes they give me a little link to let people know, hey, like they used my, you know, my direct link to purchase the game. But
yeah,
I will definitely put the link in the description below, and actually I'm going to do that right now before I forget. But yeah, it's I love it. Like, it's chill, it's cozy, it's, you know, it makes my, you know, it's punishing yet not so badly that I want to throw a controller.
yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you're liking it. You know, while we were talking about accessibility, I guess like one of the I think one of the underrated accessibility options to consider is like reducing cognitive load, because this is like a very cognitively demanding game,
Right.
even with like the hint system. And but that's sort of the whole thing with this kind of game, is like that's where all of the challenge and the fun comes from, is like figuring those things out. And so it's difficult sometimes to like implement accessibility in a way where more people can play it and enjoy it, but it still preserves like the original intent and fun of the game.
Yeah.
Like I definitely believe there's a way of like more accessibility is good, of course, but there's a way of shoehorning in these options in a way that like you're not even playing the same game anymore.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So it's a tricky balance. I'm glad that I was able to add the hint system, and that helps out a lot of people, and I think it improves the game for a lot of people.
I mean, I think that the hint system is kind of a standard with puzzle games, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think more recently that's the case. I don't think that was always the case. But
yeah, it definitely wasn't there for like Portal or anything like that. Definitely had to figure all that out.
Yeah. I mean, the internet exists, I guess. That's
very
an accessibility option for puzzles, is asking people for hints and stuff.
But yeah,
I'm glad to hear you're enjoying the game and stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun experience. Like I said, when I saw it, and I was like, "Ooh, Monument Valley! I love Monument Valley. Like, I love puzzle games like this. It's like one of my favorite type of puzzle games. Even though sometimes I suck at them, as you can clearly see, I struggled with a few little levels. But thank you so much for taking time out of your day, guys. Please go pick it up. It is in the description below, and follow. I'll have Dad's all of his socials below as well. Follow him for more updates. Wishlist the game, buy the game. I don't believe it is not on a crazy sale right now.
Not right now, but it will be in a couple months, or like a month and a half.
For the summer sale.
Not the summer sale. There's a cerebral puzzle showcase thing.
Oh, nice.
In like a month and a half, that it'll be on sale for that. So
Well,
if you wanna, I shouldn't be like, don't buy my game yet, but if you want to wait for it to go on sale, then
if you're a salesperson who waits for the Steam sales, look out for the cerebral puzzle collection, or the Steam sale for that. And so yeah. But thank you again so much for taking your time. Thank you for hanging out, and I'm glad that my one like review of this was actually getting to talk to you about this game. And yeah, it's a wonderful, like I said, chill, cozy, cerebral puzzle game. So if that is your vibe, then get it. It's a perspective, and it's little, and it's great, but it's a vast, big world. You would think the game is very misleading because it's pretty vast, and it's not much of a little perspective. It's kind of a So, but thank you guys. I think we're gonna end it here. We have been going for about 2 hours now, anyways. So, thank you so much for hanging out, and I will see you guys on the next one. And Dad, thank you so much for hanging out as well and doing this interview. Hopefully you had fun. And
thanks for having me. It was fun.
Awesome. I very much appreciate you coming and watching me struggle play your game. I played it because I thought I could, it's like, I'm gonna play some levels, I'm gonna get these levels down, and I'm gonna just breeze through this. And no,
It's
that
a hard game.
didn't happen. So I'm glad that I know how much of a like you just watching a person just like go around in circles. It's like just no, stop right, go back one. Yeah. Hopefully it wasn't the most painful like playthrough you've seen so far.
No, it was. I mean, when you make puzzle games, you watch a lot of struggling, but that's just how puzzle games are. They're like, it
Unless you like watching
all
the
the magic
struggle,
happens in your head, and so
right?
it looks like struggling, but really that's part of the fun of it, I think.
Great. Well, thank you so much for coming on and talking about this and watching me struggle and succeed. And
Yeah.
um, hopefully, the cerebral puzzle, um, the showcase will help get more people to find your game because it's definitely a game that deserves to be bought, deserves to be played. Um, and you know, I would like to see some of my retro handheld buddies who have been doing putting game native on Android devices. I would love to see this, played on some Android doodads, as my buddy Tech Dweeb likes to call them, and see what the community has to say. But again, Thad, thank you so much. And guys, I will see you on the next one. And until then, you have a